Back in the days when the Wild West was truly wild, there lived a cowboy named Jack Dusty Rivers. Tall as a cactus, with a face scarred by dust storms and bullets, Jack was known as the best gunslinger from Texas to Arizona. His revolver, Whisper of the Wind, never missed, and his horse, Storm, carried him across the prairies faster than the devil after a sinner. But one cursed evening, in the Dust Devil Saloon in the town of Tombstone, everything went awry. Jack sat at the poker table, cigar smoke curling over the cards like a ghost. Across from him sat Bill Bloody Crow, an old enemy, his eyes brimming with hatred. The stakes rose higher than the whiskey in their glasses. "Your luck's run out, Rivers," Bill rasped, laying down a full house. Jack smirked. In the pocket of his vest lay an ace he'd saved for just such a moment. "Maybe it has, but not tonight," he replied, tossing the card onto the table. The shot rang out before the cards hit the wood. Bill, the rat, had pulled a Colt from under the table. The bullet slammed into Jack's chest like a hot knife through butter. The world spun. Saloon lamps flickered. Gamblers' faces dissolved into smoke. And outside, Storm whinnied as if in farewell. The last thing Jack saw was Bill's grin and his own blood pooling on the worn floorboards. Then, darkness. Not the kind that swallows you forever, but thick, like a dust storm in a canyon. Jack blinked, or thought he did, and found himself on the same street in Tombstone. But the town had changed. The sun hung low, the colors had drained to gray, and the air was heavy, reeking of rot and gunpowder. People, or what was left of them, wandered the sidewalks, ghostly figures in tattered ponchos, faces hidden under wide-brimmed hats. The Dust Devil Saloon still stood, but its doors creaked in the wind, and inside came whispers, not laughter. "Damn limbo," Jack muttered, feeling his chest. The hole from the bullet was still there, but no blood flowed, only cold wind seeped through. His revolver hung at his side, heavy and real, and Storm stood tied outside, steam curling from her nostrils. "Hey, girl, you alive?" Jack called. The horse turned her head, eyes glowing red like forge embers. Jack mounted her, and they rode down the main street past gallows where shadows of the hanged swung, and cemeteries where graves stirred as though worms inside found it too cramped. Soon Jack realized this wasn't Tombstone. This was the land of the dead, the hellish threshold where sinners like him lingered unless they found a way out. Old Indians had whispered of it by the fire. Die with a bullet in your gut, and your soul gets stuck in the dusty canyon between life and the abyss. There rules the old man with the scythe, not the devil, but worse. He collects souls like stamps and never lets one go. Jack hadn't believed the tales, but now, staring at the horizon where the sun never set but only smoldered like a cigar, he began to doubt. The first challenge came at dawn, or what passed for it, pale light, the color of bones. From behind the saloon stepped the gang of ghost cowboys, men who had fallen in shootouts across the prairie. Their leader, Tom the Cursed Lopez, had once been Jack's partner, until he betrayed him for a handful of gold. Now Tom was half-transparent, his revolver glowing with a sickly green fire. "Rivers, so you're here too? Ha! Guess you finally caught a bullet." Tom jeered, his voice echoing hollowly. The gang surrounded Jack, 6 shadows on skeletal horses, nooses around their necks, bullet holes in their chests and backs. "The old man with the scythe wants men like you. Gunslingers, warm souls, join us, or we'll scatter you like dust." Jack spat. The spit evaporated mid-air. "Tommy, you were always a coward. Shot in the back in life, doing the same in death? I'm leaving this place. and if the old man stands in my way, his scythe'll taste my lead." He drew "Whisper of the Wind," and the air rang with gunfire. Jack's bullets sliced through the phantoms like a knife through fog. One cowboy burst like a bubble, another dissolved with a scream. Tom fired back. His shots burned like hellfire, searing Jack's shoulder. But Storm reared, trampling shadows under her hooves, and the gang scattered, vanishing in a whirlwind of dust. "Good girl," Jack muttered, binding his wound with a strip of shirt. It didn't bleed, but it hurt like the memory of betrayal. They rode deeper into the dusty canyon, a vast fissure in the earth, red stone walls whispering curses in the tongue of the dead. Along the way, Jack met strange companions. First came an old shaman woman, Mama Luna, a Navajo whose soul was trapped here after a massacre in 1864. She sat by a fire of blue flames, smoking tobacco that glowed like stars. "White Wolf, you seek the gate?" she asked, her eyes two black voids. Jack nodded, rubbing his aching shoulder. "The gate lies at the canyon's heart, beyond the river of forgetting. But to pass, you need 3 keys: the blood of the traitor, the ashes of love, and the whisper of the wind. Your wind is your revolver. You already carry it. But the blood, that's from the one who betrayed you, and the ashes, from the one you loved and lost." Jack froze. The blood of the traitor, that was Bill Crow, who had killed him. The ashes of love, Mary, his fiancée, who had burned in a ranch fire 5 years ago. "How do I find them here?" he asked. Mama Luna smiled, toothless and wise. "Seek in the shadows. But beware, the dead West devours the weak. Take this." She handed him a coyote bone amulet strung on horsehair. "It will guide you, but the price is your most painful memory." Jack put it on, and a vision struck him. The burning ranch, Mary's scream, her hand reaching for him through the flames. He clenched his jaw and rode on. The river of forgetting met them with fog, thick as hangover whiskey. Its water was black, heavy with lost sorrow. Drowned voices whispered his name, promising peace. Storm balked, refusing to enter, but Jack lashed the reins. "No time for sentiment, girl." On the far bank stood Bill Crow. Not a ghost, almost alive, his soul still hot with malice. He waited at a cliff's edge, revolver in hand, and behind him loomed the gate, enormous, forged of human bones, its hinges shaped like snakes. "Rivers," stubborn as ever. "But here, there's no second chance. I am the blood of the traitor, and I'll take your soul." The gunfight erupted instantly. Bullets whistled, ricocheting off the canyon walls, echoes rolling like thunder. Bill's shots left trails of rot where they struck. Jack ducked and fired back, Storm galloping, kicking up fountains of black dust. "For Mary!" Jack roared, aiming at Bill's heart. His bullet hit true. Bill screamed as his body melted like wax in the sun. From the wound poured blood, silver, not red, like moonlight. Jack caught it in a flask he'd readied. "First key's mine, bastard," Jack whispered, watching the wind carry Bill's remains away. But triumph was brief. The amulet flared, and a vision returned. Mary's laughter on the prairie, their kiss under the stars. Ashes of love. Where are you, darling? The trail led to the ruins of love, a burned-out ranch on the canyon's edge, where lovers' souls lingered in endless fire. Jack rode in at dawn, heat trembling the air. The houses burned without flames, and in the center stood a woman in a white dress, Mary, her hair drifting like smoke. "Jack, is it you? Or just another nightmare?" she called, voice trembling like desert echoes. "Mary, my sunshine, I came for you. No, for us." He dismounted, heart, or what was left of it, pounding. She touched his face with cold fingers. There is no escape, my love. Fire consumed us both. But if you must go, take my ashes. They'll give you strength. Her form began to dissolve, turning into gray dust swirling in the air. Jack caught it in his palm, clenching tight. "Forgive me for not saving you then," he whispered, as a single tear, the only true tear in this world, rolled down his cheek, mixing with the ashes. Now he had all three keys, blood in the flask, ashes in his hand, and whisper of the wind at his side. The gate awaited, its snake hinges hissing. But before it stood the old man with the scythe. Tall, cloaked in black, face hidden beneath a hood, he held a scythe whose blade gleamed like moonlight on a pool of blood.